Good day, everyone. By the way, my name is Jovan B. Tagra, and I'm going to discuss today the lesson 24 entitled The 21st Century Curricular Landscape in the Classrooms. This is one of the topics in Prof Ed 7, the teacher and the school curriculum. So now let me show to you my presentation. Okay, so uh, let me show to you my camera first. Alright, so now let's start the discussion. So first off, the module overview. So this is the module overview. So a dramatic technological revolution ushered the 21st century. We live in a society that has become diverse, globalized, complex, and media saturated. Current education breaks the mold that we know of the past. It has to be flexible, creative, challenging, and complex. Module 8 makes students aware of the current landscape in curriculum and the skills that the curriculum has to develop. So as you notice, we have the term in the first sentence, dramatic technological revolution. When we say technological revolution, it means we are advanced in technology, particularly in communication and information. It has reshaped how we interact, learn, and work. This revolution has made access to information instantaneous and created a more interconnected world. And aside from that, there are three terms being emphasized in this slide. First is diverse. We have diverse society in this century. Today's classrooms reflect the diversity of society, encompassing various cultures, languages, and perspectives. This diversity enriches languages, learning, but also requires educators to adopt inclusive practices that cater to different needs. Next is globalized or globalization. So as boundaries blur, students must prepare for a global economy. Education must foster global awareness, cultural competency, and collaboration skills. Next is complexity. So the issues we face, environmental, social, economic, are interconnected and multifaceted. Education should encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and the ability to navigate complexity. Lastly, media saturated. Media saturation, in other words, with information available from countless sources, students need to develop media literacy skills to discern credible information and engage thoughtfully with content. So, next, the desired learning outcomes. So by the end of this lesson, the students or you as learners will be able to describe the curricular landscape in the 21st century classrooms. Second is to identify the 21st century skills to be developed in the curriculum. So, mailalarawan natin ang mga kalakaran ng kurikulum sa mga silid-aralan sa ika-21 siglo. So, in the 21st century. Pangalawa ay matukoy natin ang mga kasanayan sa ika-21 siglo na kailangang paunlarin sa kurikulum. Next, we're going to discuss the various groups here and abroad that revolve along the different issues. So dito ay isa-isahin natin ang mga issue na kinakaharap natin sa ating lipunan. Noon pa man, magpahanggang ngayon. Okay? So let's start with the globalization of economies and independence on international markets. Or globalisasyon ng mga ekonomiya at pag-asa sa mga pandaigdigang merkado. Ang globalisasyon ay nagdudulot ng mas malawak na kalakalan at ugnayan ng mga ekonomiya ng iba't ibang bansa. Kaya't umaasa ang mga bansa sa mga international na merkado para sa kanilang pag-unlad. Pangalawa, increased concerns and actions about environmental degradation, water and energy shortages, global warming, at pandemic. So sa mga issue na nitalakay dito sa pangalawa ay ang pinaka malaking problema na kinakaharap natin na nitong mga nakaraang taon kagaya ng pandemic or yung pagkakaroon ng COVID-19 na talagang isang bangungot, kumbaga nagbibigay ng isang malaking suliranin, no, sa lahat ng mga tao. So aside from that is the environmental degradation, no, na kung nakikita natin na ang kalikasan ay unti-unting nasisira, pero habang tumatagal umuunlad naman, pero yun nga ang malaking issue ay dumaan ito sa malaking dagok, no, malaking problema na nasisira, no, dahil na rin sa mga ibang mga tao na naging irresponsibilidad. Okay, at sa iba pa ring mga sakit, no, isa rin yan sa mga issues na maituturing na isang malaking problema, no, na hindi agad mahahanapan ng solusyon. Okay, the third one, nations competing for power block, thus generating conflict, but gives opportunities to build alliances and cooperation. So, ang kompetisyon ng mga bansa para sa kapangyarihan ay maaaring magdudulot ng alitan, pero nagbibigay din ito ng pagkakataon para magtulungan at magbuo ng mga alyansa. Sa ganitong paraan, ang mga hidwaan ay maaaring magbukas ng pinto para sa kooperasyon at mas matibay na ugnayan sa pagitan ng mga bansa. Okay? Next, the fourth one, increased global migration and opportunities for working overseas. So isa ito sa mga issues na kinakaharap natin hanggang ngayon. No, kung nakikita natin, kung naoobserbahan natin sa ating lipunan ngayon, ay karamihan din sa mga Pinoy ay napipilitan, no? Or nakakapagbisisyon na lang sila ng mga ibang bansa, sapagkat dito sa Pilipinas, maniwala man tayo sa hindi, talagang malimit lang or hindi gaano karami ang mga oportunidad. Kung kaya't mapipilitan ang mga ibang Pilipino na iwanan ang kanilang mga mahal sa buhay dito sa Pilipinas para doon sa ibang bansa makipagsapalaran. Okay? The next is science and technological revolution. So marami ng mga lumalabas ngayon ng mga teknolohiya na nagawa ng mga eksperto, no? Dito sa samut-saring mga dito sa siyensya na field, no, maraming mga scientists na gumagawa, marami ang mga programmers na gumagawa ng mga teknolohiya, no. Then knowledge economy as a generator of wealth and jobs. So basically, all these issues need a curriculum that will address global solutions to environmental problems, environmental sustainability, global conflicts, cultural diversity, technology revolution, and science breakthrough. Thus, an integrative approach to curriculum is absolutely necessary. There should be unity in core academic subjects where life and career skills are included. Curriculum includes interdisciplinary themes, development of essential skills for modern pedagogies and technologies. The curriculum incorporates higher order thinking skills, multiple intelligences, technology and multimedia, and multiple literacies of the 21st century skills. So the 21st century curriculum includes innovation skills, information, media, and ICT literacy. So later on, we will discuss each or every literacies that students must know, especially this time now we are in a new generation, or basically in the 21st century. So there are a lot of examples later on that I'm going to discuss. But before that, the curriculum for this century should inspire and challenge both the teacher and the learner. These are some of the characteristics of this curriculum. It is a curriculum that provides appropriate knowledge, skills, and values to face the future. So nagbibigay daw ng tamang kaalaman, kasanayan, at pagpapahalaga para harapin ang hinaharap. Tinutulungan nito ang mga mag-aaral na maging handa para sa mga hamon na darating sa darating na panahon. Okay? And aside from that, it is a curriculum that is based on knowledge drawn from research. So nakabatay daw sa kaalaman mula sa pananaliksik. So ang nilalaman ay hango sa mga makabagong pag-aaral at ebidensya. Third one, it is a curriculum that is a product of consultative, collaborative development process. So isang produkto ng konsultatibo at magkatuwang na proseso ng pag-develop. So ang mga ideya at plano ay isinasaalang-alang at pinagtutulungan ng iba't ibang eksperto at mga stakeholders. The last, it is a curriculum that supports excellence and equity for all learners. So sumusuporta sa kahusayan at pagkakapantay-pantay para sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral. So tinutukan nito ang pagbibigay ng mataas na kalidad na edukasyon sa lahat anuman ang kanilang kalagayan. So again, next slide. So now, we have these different skills. So first, learning and innovation skills. Learning and innovation skills is recognized as the skills that separate students who are prepared for increasingly complex life and work environments in the 21st century and those who are not. Next, information literacy. Information literacy is the ability to know when there is a need for information, to be able to identify, locate, evaluate, and effectively use that information for the issue or problem at hand. Next, media literacy is an expanded conceptualization of literacy that includes the ability to access and analyze media messages, as well as create, reflect, and take action, using the power of information and communication to make a difference in the world. Next, ICT literacy, so the ability to use tools of information and communication technology. So in the general sense here, as you can see in this image, these are the three general skills that a student must develop. No? Let's start with learning skills. Under learning skills, there are 4 C's. The first one, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication. So learning skills, the 4 C's. These 4 skills teach students about the mental processes required to adapt and improve upon a modern work environment. Next is literacy skills, which includes 3 knowledges, which is information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. So these are the literacy skills. It focuses on how students can discern facts, publishing outlets, and the technology behind them. There is a strong focus on determining trustworthy sources and factual information to separate it from the misinformation that floods the internet. And lastly, the life skills. We have the flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. So these are called life skills. No? So take a look at intangible elements of a student's everyday life. So those intangibles focus on both personal and professional qualities. So now, let's move on to the cluster of skills for the 21st century and its specific descriptors. So first cluster of skills for the 21st century is learning and innovation skills. No? So first, critical thinking and problem solving, which is the description of this cluster. So critical thinking and problem solving are essential skills that enable individuals to analyze information, make informed decisions, and solve complex issues effectively. Next, creativity and innovation. So to differentiate these two terms, so creativity is the ability to generate new ideas, approaches, or solutions. It involves thinking outside the box and making connections between seemingly unrelated concepts. While innovation refers to the implementation of creative ideas into practical applications, resulting in new products, processes, or services that add value. Okay. Next is oral and written communication. So this is very common, no, not just in inside the classroom, but also in the work environment. So it is very important that we should enhance our oral communication. There are people who are good in making making conversation, no, by oral. There are also people who are very strong, no. One of their strengths is communicating through writing. So these are the skills that needed to be developed, no, in the 21st century under learning and innovation skills. So let's move on to knowledge, information, media, and technology literacy skills, which is the second cluster of skills for the 21st century. Let's start with content mastery. So content mastery refers to a deep understanding and proficiency in a specific subject or field. No, from the word itself, mastery. So you are mastered with the content, no? Yung alam mo kung ano ang mga nilalaman ng isang paksa, alam mo yung paksa. Okay? The next is information literacy. So information literacy is that you have the ability to recognize when information is needed and to locate, evaluate, and use that information effectively. Next is media literacy. It is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in various forms. So you have the ability to create like this, no, PowerPoint presentation. So if alam mo na kung ano ang mga content na maaari mo ilagay sa iyong report, kagaya nito, gumagawa ka na ng isang presentasyon, no? Whether you use books, whether you use any visual aid na tangible, or something like this in a virtual way nga you present your discussion through media, like using PowerPoint like this, no? In that way, you are called as media literate. Next is ICT literacy, is the ability to use tools of information and communication technology. Let's move on to life skills, which is the third cluster of skills in the 21st century. Flexibility and adaptability. So, ito ay tumutukoy sa kakayahang mag-adjust at magbago ng approach o patutunguhan o direksyon kapag nahaharap sa mga bagong sitwasyon o hamon. Mahalaga ito upang magtagumpay sa mabilis na pagbabago ng mga kondisyon o kapaligiran. Pangalawa ay initiative and self-direction. So kung ikaw sa paaralan, very common din ito na nangyayari, no, na kumbaga hindi man ikaw ay naatasan na maging leader, ay ikaw ay may kagustuhan or may dignidad na gumawa ng plano na tiyak magdudulot ng magandang resulta sa in the end, no, di ba? Umi-initiate like magawa ka ng plano, gagawin mo ito dahil hangad mo na matagumpay ang isang pangkatang gawain, no? And then myself or masarili kang direksyon kung ano ang patutunguhan mo. Then teamwork and collaboration. So madalas din ito nangyayari, no, hindi lang sa paaralan kundi maging sa trabaho natin, no? Mas mahalaga talaga na magkaroon ng teamwork nang sa gayon ay mas mapadali yung gawain, mas mapadali yung task, okay? At saka mas maging kumbaga ma-ensure natin na yung mga steps ay masusunod, no? Okay? At kumbaga may iwasan din yung mga palpak, mga ganon, at least ma-minimize. Hindi man yung mga kapalpakan kasi ay ituturing na inevitably, no, inevitable or hindi talaga maiiwasan, pero at least kung may teamwork at kolaborasyon ng mga miyembro ng mga kasamahan, at least ma-minimize, no, mababawasan yung mga ganoong mga pangyayari. Then social and cross-cultural skills. Ang mga kasanayang ito ay tumutukoy sa kakayahang makikipag-ugnayan at makikisalamuha ng maayos sa iba't ibang tao mula sa iba't ibang kultura at background. Mahalaga ito sa pagbuo ng mga positibong relasyon at pagpapalaganap ng pagkakaintindihan. Okay? Next is leadership and responsibility. Leadership and responsibility. So, kumbaga, mahalaga rin na mayroon kang leadership skills, di ba? No? Lahat ay may karapatan na maging leader, no? Hindi man ikaw ay naatasan na maging puno, no, ng isang pangkatang gawain, meron ka ring karapatan na maging leader, no? Kasi sa ganitong paraan mai-enhance mo yung kakayahan mo na mag-lead or gumabay sa mga kasamahan mo. At saka kung maging leader ka man, dapat na maging responsible ka sa iyong tungkulin, no? Dapat na maging positibo ka nang sa gayon ay maging maganda rin ang kahihinatnan ng mga gawain na pinaplano ninyo. Next is citizenship skills. First is valuing of diversity, which is one of the descriptors of these skills. So valuing diversity is a key component of a 21st century curriculum that promotes inclusivity and global citizenship. So by exposing students to various cultures, perspectives, and experiences, educators can help them appreciate the richness that diversity brings to society. Okay? So next is global awareness. And then, followed by environmental awareness, yung mga alam mo kung ano ang mga nangyayari sa paligid natin, hindi lang dito sa ating lokalidad, kundi maging sa ibang bansa rin. Kung kaya't, mas mainam na manonood tayo ng mga balita, no? Hindi lang dito sa ating lokalidad, kundi mas mahalaga rin na mag-explore tayo, no? Or kumalap tayo ng impormasyon sa iba't ibang mga sources. Ngunit, dapat hindi natin kalimutan na maging mapagmatsyag, no? Maging observant at maging piliin yung mga angkop na sources kasi marami na ngayon, laganap na yung mga fake news, di ba? So, kailangan na maging mapagmatsyag ka kung ano ang mga dapat mong gamitin bilang source, yung ganoon. Okay? So next is values, ethics, and professionalism. So ito ay tumutukoy sa pagpapahalaga sa tamang asal, pagiging tapat, at mataas na pamantayan sa trabaho. Mahalaga ito sa pagpapakita ng integridad at respeto sa iba sa anumang propesyon. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, so in this slide, so I featured Howard Gardner. So Howard Gardner in the year 2006, from his book 5 Minds of the Future, he sees that the 5 frames of thinking which would help in the development of thinking skills. Each frame of thinking is attributed to the type of mind the learner has to use in order to survive the future. So let us know first the details of Howard Gardner. No? So Howard Gardner was born on July 11, 1943 in Pennsylvania, United States. He is an American cognitive psychologist and author. He is best known for his theory of multiple intelligences, and he first presented in 5 Frames of Mind the theory of intelligences, and subsequently refined and extended in multiple intelligences, then the theory in practice in the year 1993, Intelligence Reframed Multiple Intelligences for the 21st Century in the year 1999, and Multiple Intelligences New Horizons in the year 2006. And then, Gardner's theory inspired teachers, school leaders, and special educators to embrace the notion that there are many ways to be intelligent. So let us know more about his perspectives, no, or his theories. So, here are the 5 frames of thinking. So, first, the disciplined mind. So, it is being described as it makes use of the ways of thinking necessary for major scholarly work and profession. So, the disciplined mind generally refers to a mindset characterized by focus, self-control, and the ability to regulate one's thoughts and actions to achieve specific goals. The second one is the synthesizing mind. It selects crucial information from voluminous amounts available, processing such information in ways that make sense to self and others. On the other hand, it refers to the ability to integrate diverse pieces of information, ideas, and experiences into a coherent understanding or solution. Then, the third frame of thinking is the creating mind. It goes beyond existing knowledge, pose new questions, offer new solutions. Okay? So, it also refers to the ability to generate original ideas, concepts, or solutions through imaginative thinking and innovation. The fourth one, the respectful mind, sympathetically and constructively adjusts to individual differences. So, the respectful mind refers to the capacity to appreciate and understand diverse perspectives, cultures, and experiences. It embodies qualities such as empathy, tolerance, and open-mindedness, allowing individuals to engage constructively with others, especially in contexts of difference or conflict. So last but not the least is the ethical mind. It considers one's role as citizen consistently and strives towards good work and citizenship. So the ethical mind also refers to the ability to think critically about moral principles and make decisions that reflect a strong sense of integrity and responsibility. Now, lastly, let's move on to Tony Wagner. So Tony Wagner in his book The Global Achievement Gap mentioned the 7 survival skills for the 21st century curriculum. So first is critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration across networks and leading by influence, agility and adaptability. The fourth is initiative and entrepreneurship, effective oral and written communication, accessing and analyzing information, and then curiosity and imagination. So later on, I will discuss these survival skills for the 21st century curriculum individually. But before that, let us get to know first who Tony Wagner is. So Tony Wagner is a globally recognized expert in education. He is currently a senior research fellow at the Learning Policy Institute, founded by Linda Darling Hammond in 2015. His previous work experiences includes 12 years as a high school teacher, K-8 principal, university professor in teacher education, and founding executive director of Educators for Social Responsibility. He is also the author of 7 books and numerous articles. He has also worked on 2 wide-viewed education documentaries. Okay, so now let's tackle now individually the survival skill. So first survival skill is critical thinking and problem solving. So critical thinking and problem solving are essential skills for navigating complex challenges in today's world. Integrating these skills into the curriculum prepares students to analyze information, make informed decisions, and devise effective solutions. So for example, sa ating paaralan tayo ay naging ordinaryong mag-aaral pa nung mga panahon na ay kahit sa mga kolehiyo, no, naranasan natin na mag-solve ng mga math problems. So bago natin i-solve ang problems, ay alamin natin muna ang formula, di ba? So mahalaga iyan, no, na binibigyan tayo ng mga math problems na sa gayon ay mahasa o ma-improve natin ang ating kakayahan na tawag dito masolusyonan yung problema, no, mahanapan ng solusyon gamit gamit yung mga specific formula, di ba? So in that way is ma-improve natin yung ating critical thinking at nang sa gayon ay malalaman ng isang mag-aaral kung paano ba talaga isosolve yung isang problema, no, at sa ganoong paraan ay gumagana ang kanyang utak, no, di ba, nagpo-process, no, nag-conceptualize, no. So next is the second survival skill is the collaboration across networks and leading by influence. All right, so collaboration across networks and leading by influence are vital skills for success in today's interconnected world. These skills enable students work effectively with others, leverage diverse perspectives, and inspire action. Okay, so example. So in a group project for a history class, a student is chosen to lead the team. So instead of assigning tasks, the student encourages each team member to contribute their strengths. One is good at research, another is good at design, and another is good at presenting. So by motivating and guiding the team with clear communication, the student leads through influence, not authority, and the group successfully creates a well-rounded project. The third skill is agility and adaptability. No? Agility and adaptability are crucial skills in a rapidly changing world. Teaching these skills helps students navigate uncertainty, embrace change, and respond effectively to new challenges. So example, imagine a teacher who is used to delivering lessons in a traditional classroom setting, but suddenly the school switches to an online learning model due to unforeseen circumstances like a pandemic or weather-related weather-related closure. So in this example, agility is the teacher's ability to shift or quickly shift their teaching approach, while adaptability is their ongoing process of refining their methods to ensure the learning experience is effective for all students. The fourth survival skill for the 21st century curriculum is the initiative and entrepreneurship. Initiative and entrepreneurship are vital skills that empower students to identify opportunities, take risks, and innovate. Integrating these skills into the curriculum fosters a proactive mindset and prepares students for a dynamic workforce. For example, Sophia, a high school student. Sophia is interested in environmental science. She notices that her school doesn't have a strong recycling program, so rather than waiting for someone else to act, she takes the initiative to organize a school-wide recycling drive, educating her peers on the importance of recycling and sustainability. So entrepreneurship can be applied in this scenario in such a way that after the success of the drive, Sophia realizes that there's an opportunity to create a sustainability club that not only focuses on recycling but also raises funds by selling eco-friendly products like reusable bottles or tote bags and partnering with local green businesses. She turns her initiative into an entrepreneurial project, generating funds for school green initiatives and expanding awareness in the local community. The fifth survival skill for the 21st century curriculum is effective oral and written communication. So integrating these skills into the curriculum ensures that students can articulate their ideas clearly and persuasively. So example, a a healthcare administrator is tasked with communicating changes in policy to the hospital staff, including doctors, nurses, and administrative personnel. They prepare a clear, concise written memo outlining the changes and their impact, followed by a series of face-to-face briefings to address questions and concerns. So their ability to tailor the message for different audiences and ensure clarity results in smooth adoption of the new policy without resistance or confusion. Okay, so the sixth survival skill of the 21st century curriculum is accessing and analyzing information. So teaching students how to find, evaluate, and use information effectively empowers them to make informed decisions and become discerning consumers of knowledge. So example, so an investigative journalist no, is tasked with writing a report of a controversial environmental issue. So they gather data from a variety of sources, government databases, interviews with experts, scientific studies, and local community groups. Using advanced research techniques and analytical tools, the journalist shifts through mountains of information, cross-referencing sources and verifying facts to ensure the final report is accurate and trustworthy. This ability to access and analyze diverse information allows them to present a well-rounded, factual story. Next, the seventh survival skill for the 21st century curriculum. This is the last survival skill, now by Tony Wagner. So curiosity and imagination. So curiosity and imagination are fundamental skills that drive innovation and lifelong learning. Fostering these qualities in students encourages exploration, creativity, and critical thinking. So for example, Ella, a high school student, is assigned a creative writing project in her English class. Instead of to a typical short story, so her curiosity about different writing genres and her imagination lead her to write a multimedia story. She combines a traditional narrative with elements like poetry, song lyrics, and even graphic novel style illustrations to tell the story. So those are the seven survival skills for the 21st century proposed by Tony Wagner. So that ends my presentation. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you all have enjoyed and learned at the same time. So thank you very much. So see you on my next topic. Goodbye.